You know what? I've always been a bit different. And it was mainly just because I like things that the kids around me, especially growing up, they weren't really interested in. I've been writing my book and I asked my family, hey, what made you realize I was different? And they were like, you weren't different. And I was like, did you find these behaviors a bit odd? They were like, it was just you. Because I also told them to compare with the other kids, and they were like, no, but that was just how you were. So it was good to see that my family just took it as me being me. And the things that made me different, let's call it different, you can call it whatever you want. It was that I like staying at home, which I still do. I was never a very outdoorsy kind of kid or person. I like I like reading a lot. I used to write stories all the time, ask so many questions, and learning. I love learning. Not studying, yes to learning. And that to me was normal and still is. And a lot of these things I still do. So I'm guessing that's just me. The thing is, like, when you grow up, the pool of people that you got around you is small. As you grow up, you can find your people. So I don't think I'm that different anymore. Or maybe I don't know. Whatever. As I was saying, I don't think there was a specific moment when I was like, oh my God, I'm so different. I just knew I was, and I didn't care I was different. I would prefer much more to be different than just to be like everybody else just for a trend. Not because I like doing what they like. As I continued growing up, there were a lot of other things that people didn't understand, especially if you think about this like 20 years ago. I love tattoos. Now I got a lot of them. I had a lot of piercings. I cut my hair in different haircuts and styles, and I used to dye it or bleach it. So, whatever it felt like. Okay, at the time, I also like traveling and not always to the more traditional places. I do like a challenge. So sometimes I like going to places that are a bit harder to get or a bit trickier or something like that. And back in the day, now things have changed. I'm going to say that. It took a lot of work and effort for this to happen. But I remember my dad telling me that he would hire somebody that had less experience but no tattoos, than to hire me that had the skills. To that point, we got to it. That's the thing that I usually say when it comes to having tattoos doesn't affect my brain. So that's not a problem. And none of my tattoos are offensive. So to me, to this day, makes no sense. Again, the ink doesn't affect my brain. It doesn't change anything. If I'm more qualified, I'm more qualified. Another instance was when I moved to New Zealand. So I moved to New Zealand when I was 22. From the age of 21, I wanted to move there. And none of the people that I hung out with or that I knew or family have done that before. I packed everything and I was going away for a year. I only had a visa. I didn't even have a job. My friends that had done, and my sister did it as well, one of the work on holiday visas for the US that go through an agency. The process is different just because you go there and you go to a place where you have a job. I was going there and I was like, good luck. So that was the thing. So moving to New Zealand was, again, I went from one side to the other side of the world, trying to figure things out on my own. And then I was working, and I don't care about what I worked. Work is work. They pay me. And that was the important thing to me because I needed the money, period. And people wouldn't understand, oh, you moved all the way there to work as a cleaner at a motel. Yes, I get paid more than you at home. So what's the problem here? And I don't mind it. And I'm the one doing the job. So, and that was the thing. I didn't mind getting out of my comfort zone, getting out there, try new things, and do what I needed to do to continue through this path. Like, I was fine with it. Fitting in wasn't something that I was trained to do. If I wanted to do something, I would do it. My parents can tell you this. If I had something in my mind, I was going to go and achieve it. That was it. My mom was there like, just let her do what she wants. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She said that to my teachers. But just for you to understand, that's just me. And the thing is, if I had tried to fit in, I would have probably stayed in Argentina, stayed at the same job, because there was a big chance of me staying where I was, commuting 3 to 4 hours a day, very stressed, unhappy. I remember leaving early in the morning, traveling for like 2 hours, working there, working through my lunch break, working and doing extra hours. None of those were paid. Then have to travel an hour and a half, 2 hours back. And just being exhausted and not having enough money to do much, especially when it comes to me that I love traveling, right? So I would have stayed. And I would just look at the world through my TV or books or my computer and just continue to stare at the map of my wall instead of just going out and seeing it. I don't think being different is a problem. I think trying to fit into the wrong box is. And if you feel like you don't fit anywhere, maybe you just need a different box. Maybe you just need to build your own and let people find you. It might feel like a lot, especially when you're younger, especially when you're in school, but eventually you'll find your place, you'll find your people. Don't worry. You were never meant to fit in. You were just meant to be you. All right. See you next time.